I'm better. I got up a little earlier. I feel like,
That's good.
I've had most of my coffee. This is the second cup, and it's a giant cup.
I'm halfway through my cold caffeine, so we're caffeinated.
And
we're ready to go.
Up. Yes.
I was up early too because yesterday was a crazy recording day. So after this, I recorded the next episode of the podcast. So that'll be out on Monday.
Right.
So I thought I knew how. Audio
links down below.
And then I also did an episode of That Knitting Show, which is a video podcast I'm doing with Erin from Warehouse Farm. So
let me put the link down below for that. We haven't talked about that. Go ahead.
We haven't talked about it. Well, we're on our 6th episode. We only do a monthly, but we figured we were getting together and talking about our knitting anyway. So let's do it with other people. Yeah. So this is our 6th episode, and it should go live hopefully over this weekend. Yeah. It might be early next week, but
we'll put the link to that down below. You'll send me the link. It's a YouTube podcast.
Yep. It's just That Knitting Show. If you look for that channel, it'll be there.
Well, I'll do that. And then I'll put the link conveniently down below for everybody else.
But because of that, I had to get up early today and finish my knitting for today. So I'll show you the 2 colors. So this is the
cool.
So it goes like that. I like the blue and the orange next to each other.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with that. And good news, I ended up with this much left.
Wow.
So I didn't run short at all, which is it's a full yard. So that's the difference between the cast on edge and then not having to cast on here.
Interesting.
Made a full yard difference.
And so you don't have to do the decreasing of 1 stitch.
No. So I'm good to go going forward. But now I'm going to have all these little 1 yard things that
I don't know. Gnomes.
That's an idea.
You could also just save them to stuff stuff with. That's what I do.
That's what I normally do. I have a mason jar that all my 100% wool ends go into, and then I figure out what to do with them. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. If anyone has ideas, like legit, if anyone has ideas, I would love to hear them.
Or like a 1 yard. I mean, that's
yeah. And it doesn't have to be a full project. Like I used 1 yard in this thing or that thing. Because I love using it all up. Okay,
so I have an idea for you.
You feel good. Yes.
So I have I think I have a playlist of where I made little mini like ornaments.
Oh,
like teeny weeny ornaments. Idea. So if you have like 1 yard of this and 1 yard, you could make little scrappy tiny sock ornaments.
Yeah.
Or teeny weeny. Like I have one with a teeny weeny sweater. I mean, seriously, the whole thing's like 2 inches wide with the sleeves
little stripies.
And they're super cute, teeny weeny sweaters. And you would just take 2 or 3 of those and like tie them together, and then
that would be
really splice them properly if you're inclined.
That's really cute. That's a really cute idea.
Or teeny weeny, just tiny ornaments.
Yeah. Okay, throw a link below for me.
I will.
And I'll come back and click it.
Okay. So that's a great thing to do.
Yeah, I love that idea, because then I can have my scarf. That's my Advent scarf, and then I can have all my little Advent ornaments that I made with the tails. I love that.
So you're going round and round on your sleeve.
Yeah, I keep saying I only have a few rounds left, and then I measure and I'm like, no, it's like another 1.5 inches. So
well, that's a few in the scheme of things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you been out to the animals yet today? How's everybody doing?
They're fine.
Yeah.
They're fine. The 3 little triplets are doing great. Watch my Instagram stories if people want to see baby goats.
Who doesn't want to see baby goats?
I know. I'll put a picture of the baby goats here. And I'll tell you, one of them, there's a boy and 2 girls in the triplets. When you see the picture, the boy is the lighter colored one. He has a name. His name is Vern.
Vern.
Yeah.
Hey, Vern.
Vern the goat. And there's a story behind that. So I'll make it short. One of my patrons, she's fantastic. Shout out to Karen. She's been one of my patrons from the beginning.
Uh-huh.
And before I even had my patron page, she was supporting the channel, and ooh, look at you trying on your sleeve.
Sorry. I'm trying to be subtle and you're calling me out.
All right. It's okay. Nice.
There we go.
So I decided I was going to name the mama goat is named Sadie Lou, which is named after Karen's mother. Aww. So that's named after Karen's mother. And then Karen's father, brother, and nephew are all named Vernon.
Oh, that's cute.
So that's why Sadie Lou's son, the little baby goat, his name is Vern because of that. See?
Lovely.
So we need some names for his sisters, but I think, you can drop a comment if you want, but I think we're going to use some of Karen's aunt's names because her mother was like one of 13 kids. So there's.
Oh, wow. Yeah. My dad's one of 14 by one marriage. And then there were 3 more in the marriage before. Wow. Can you imagine?
No.
Can you imagine? It's crazy.
It's like having your own town in Wyoming.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So I think I already have some names picked out, but I'm waiting for my oldest daughter to come home from her freshman year at university to help pick because she loves them so much. Anyway, they're doing great. Yeah. So open something. Show us.
Okay. I'm really excited to see what the next color is. So I'm going to start with that one again today.
Yes. That's good. Ooh. Oh, you're peeking. Oh.
Look at that.
Oh, wow. Put that up
next. It's like greeny blues.
Yeah.
And
I think that's going to tie in pretty well with what some of the splotchy color that you have. Yeah.
This is going to be interesting. So it has some of the greens that are in this.
Yeah.
Are in this. Interesting.
Cool.
I like that one.
That's cool.
All right. Jana, what's your first one?
Okay, I'm going to open.
What are you going to do first?
I'm going to do Lauren's first from A Girl in Her Wool, number 3. And isn't her little logo with the Santa? That's super cute.
So cute.
I'm going to open it under the desk because it's crinkly and I have issues with noise. Oh, they're very similar to what you have.
Oh, look at that. They could work together and be friends.
They could.
Mine's like a more speckly version of yours.
Yes. And look, though, how it fits in the fade.
Oh, that is looking great. I like that.
Oh, I love it. Oh, Lauren's got my number for sure. Fantastic. And, I'm having a little envy over there because I don't have the time right now to keep up to knit all the minis each day. So I'm like, oh, I wish I was, but it's okay because here's just a diversion. Here's the thing. What happens to me is I get all these fantastic colors and then I'm like, oh, what can I make that's like special enough to use the whole, and then I have trouble deciding.
Yeah. I talk about this on the podcast. It's coming out on Monday because I talk about trying to find the pattern because I saw so many beautiful patterns for using Advents or just using a ton of minis.
Yeah.
But the problem was that a lot of them you really want to be done before you cast on. So you have some control over the color placement because it would be like the rows would be like a few rows of one color, a few rows the next, few rows of one, and then you'd be into the next color. So you wanted that to play. There needed to be contrast between them in order for that to work. Or, so anyway, so I was looking through when I was looking for this pattern originally, that's what I found tricky was finding one where it really didn't matter what color came out of the box that day. I could just use that color.
I see what you mean.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
so I figured
it's helpful to know whether it's a fade or not.
Yeah.
And most designers will say they'll coordinate together, but it's not a fade, or most designers will specify that to some extent, or you can message and ask, but in the future, but
yeah. So this one, I figured, big, bold stripes the whole time. That works.
That's fantastic car, TV, whatever knitting, because you're just back and forth on the bias.
Yeah. I'm getting so much television watched.
Anything good we should know about?
I paused before, as I came here, I paused What Happened, Brittany Murphy, which is a 2-part documentary on HBO Max about the death of Brittany Murphy. Do you remember Brittany Murphy from the 90s? She was in Clueless. She was the quote unquote ugly girl in Clueless who really was
vaguely
adorable.
remember the movie, but I don't think I ever watched it.
Okay. So. She was in a lot of different things. She dated Ashton Kutcher for a while. She was in 8 Mile. She was in, she was like the it girl for a while in the early 2000s.
Okay.
And then she just died. And it was really dodgy and like who did it and whatever. And
so you find out.
You find out what caused the death by the end of the first episode, but then it's like, but then there's more. And then now I'm in the second episode. And so I don't know what the more is yet.
But you're sucked in.
But I'm sucked in. It's very interesting and it's good, just knitting and listening.
Yeah.
Thing. Cool. Anyway, should I open my next one?
Yes.
Now that we're talking about death and sadness. Sorry, I have my crinkly bag by the microphone again. Okay, so this is my, I want to get it, British Yarn Explorers. I have another explorer this time.
Oh.
Robert Falcon Scott.
Antarctic
So I did look up Mary Henrietta Kingsley from the first one, and she was an explorer in Western Africa.
Wow.
She was the first woman to go there. She was the first European woman to go there who wasn't like the wife of an official or the wife of a missionary or something. Like she went of her own accord.
Independently.
And then, so this is Robert Falcon Scott. Robert Scott. I don't know him. I'm gonna have to look him up too.
Antarctic explorer.
Oh yeah, there I go. I had my finger over it.
Well, I saw it the first time
Okay, so today it is Teeswater DK, also hand spun by Alex Late of Late Night Knits.
Nice.
A little bit of a prickle. Let me show you the little birdie she drew. So cute. And cool. I will read. Okay. Teeswater DK, sourced from Happy Cottage Flock in Yorkshire. Lovely, lustrous, and strong yarn. The original commercial purpose of the Teeswater is as a crossing sire.
Okay.
Can you explain what that is?
Yes.
Okay.
Just because I live on a farm and I've had sheep and whatever. Okay. So if you have, this is my understanding, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, because clearly I could be wrong. But my understanding is if you have the ram, who would be the sire of the flock, and he has traits that you want to pass on to the progeny, then you would use him as a crossing. If he's the Teeswater, you would use him as crossing with another breed.
Okay.
And so then he would have his harem of girls for that breeding season. And then the resulting lambs would be that desired cross with, maybe the mothers were Merino or Rambouillet or whatever. I don't know.
Okay.
But so he's the crossing sire. See what I mean?
So so the original commercial purpose of the Teeswater, so Teeswater existed, but then how they use them commercially, like how people,
they might have crossed him, the Teeswater ram. They might have crossed him with whatever other breed had desirable characteristics to go with the Tees. Like maybe they wanted to cross him with Rambouillet or Merino, so that prickle is a little less. And it just depends on the staple length and the fleece characteristics, what they're after at the time.
Okay, got it. Okay, there's more.
Good.
The first cross of a Teeswater ram with a horned ewe, usually a Dales bred, is known as the Mashem half-bred.
Okay.
The Mashem is a hardy breed with excellent maternal qualities. It inherits many fine characteristics from the Teeswater, including a lustrous fleece and superb conformation.
Nice.
What does superb conformation refer to?
So they would have the
This is quiz Jana.
So they would have that lamb, or would have the conformation or the anatomical structure that would be desirable for. Maybe it has the back end is a little wider on the ewes, so they have easier lambing time.
Got it. Okay.
On a ram, you'd want the broad chest and the muscling, and it depends on if they're being raised for wool or meat or milk or all three.
Okay. The Mashem is renowned for its longevity and for producing a good crop of lambs year after year.
Nice.
So there we go. So Teeswater DK. So far, all of these have been DK. And I think I mentioned yesterday that she sent me a mitten pattern. So
Oh, I
These
thought
I'm
it was a
holding on
hat.
to.
I thought it was a hat pattern.
No, it's a mitten pattern.
Oh.
So I'm holding on to all of these because there's color placement involved.
Yeah.
So these, I'm not going to try and start knitting these until the box is over.
Right.
But there's day 1, day 2, day 3.
I love a good hand spun.
This is pretty nice.
And they'll be warm.
Yeah, they're going to be warm because they're like a fluffy DK. These are great. Oh, where'd the tag? I got to put the tag on before I forget. Okay.
Okay. So this is day 3 of the National Parks New Year. And day 3 is from Yarnaceous Fibers. So this is our last day of Yosemite. And this,
we'll get to see all 3 together now.
So this one is from Yarnaceous Fibers. So I'm opening down here. It's crinkly. Ooh. Okay, that was unexpected. Wow. Wow.
Oh, that is unexpected.
Yarnaceous.
Oh, I love the label.
Yes. Okay, well, this makes sense. This says on the back of the label I'm reading to you, it says a National Parks New Year, Yosemite National Parks, Day 3, El Capitan Sky. That makes sense.
Oh, okay. So it's like the sunset or sunrise.
Yeah. Well, it'd be sunset because it's in California. Unless I guess you're standing on the other side of El Capitan
too.
Okay, let's just say I don't know anything about it. Okay, so this is day 1, 2, and 3.
I like those together. I was surprised.
Yeah, so that's Yosemite.
New one, but I like it when it's together. I think that's great.
Yeah. So that's Yosemite. Wow. Cool. We are going to reach a point where I can't hold them all up.
But you can do 3 at a time.
Oh, I could. That's true.
3 at a time. So we see.
Yes, clearly I need more coffee.
Again, at the end, you're going to have the chance to buy full size of the 3. So that way people
can see how
they all are together.
In the each national park set.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tomorrow we'll be moving on to, let me look. So that was Yosemite. Tomorrow we're moving on to Glacier National Park.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So that will be interesting. This time of the year, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Have you been to Glacier?
I have not. No.
Yeah. I've been there. Well, I've driven through a couple times.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And every time it's been like in the off season. So it's been like super foggy and I haven't actually seen the peaks because it's been like real stormy and foggy and nasty. Yeah. So I will get back there one day since it's sort of in my region. And yeah. All right.
Awesome.
Fun.
So who are we meeting with today? Who do we have coming up?
Today's interview is with Lauren from A Girl and Her Wool. And she's the one she kindly sent me this Advent kit to open on the channel.
Yeah.
So we visited with her and we have her pre-recorded interview coming up now.
Awesome. Bye, everybody.
Bye. See you tomorrow. Lauren, thanks for joining me again. I keep asking you, I know, but thanks. I'm glad you had today off and you were able to take a few minutes to meet up with us. Yay.
Yeah, of course. I'm excited to chat.
I will correct myself from day 1 or whenever it was when I said, oh, it's kind of a moody photo. And then you clarified and said, well, that wasn't supposed to be an inspiration photo. It was just to, like a more of a, here's my Advent kit coming up, kind of an advertising photo. I thought it was an inspiration photo, but now that I've opened, it's so happy.
Yeah, they're definitely, well, I won't spoil, but you get like a lot going on. So
I'm excited.
Bright, you get less bright and all colors.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So welcome. We have questions for you.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't met you before, Lauren. So I'm curious how you became a hand dyer.
Yeah. So I opened up in 2019. Actually, I launched my shop on my birthday in 2019. So it was an exciting day. But I don't know, I had been watching a lot of YouTube videos. I obviously was a fan of yarn and hand-dyed yarn. And I was always so curious about how it happened, like how hand-dyed yarn came about and how dyeing worked and different dyeing techniques. And so I just over time, the interest just kept growing and growing. And wanted to try it myself. And kind of the story I always tell is I made a trip to visit a friend who lives just a couple of hours away, and we did it in one day. So I ended up driving home at night, having coffee, and so I couldn't sleep that night. Ended up like scrolling through Amazon and put pans and like all the tools that I would need to dye and some like sample yarn and sample dyes. And, you know, that's how it happened, was like not being able to sleep at night. And finally was like, let's just try it out. So
late night shopping.
Yeah. Bad idea.
This is an example of like the late night Amazon shopping turning out good, turning out well, you know? Yeah. It doesn't always work that way for people.
You said bad idea. I'm like, well, not in this case.
Yeah. So then from there, it just like, you know, I just really enjoyed the process from it, and it just grew and opened up shop, and here we are.
Well, and I became aware of you first because of your Rose to Gold kit that Amba knitted. I forget the name of the pattern that she made with that.
Mm-hmm. It was the Ravelry throw.
Right. And I was like, wow.
Or no, Ravelry wrap. Sorry. The Ravelry wrap.
And that's that was the Rose to Gold kit that you had in 2020, but then you offered it, and I paused for a second because you offered it again earlier this year if people wanted to pre-order it again, because it's fantastic. Tell us what makes your shop unique.
Yeah. One thing, so I talked like, you know, been a knitter for years, fan of yarn, but talking about like the Find Your Fade, right, that you're kind of wearing, it was a pattern I wanted to make, but you use like so little, you use a lot of colors, and some you used a lot of, and some you used just little bits of.
Right.
And I was also kind of new to knitting, so I didn't have big stash or leftovers or things. And if I found that it just was not like financially accessible to me to make that pattern for the amount of yarn I'd have to buy. So when I did open my shop, I was like, well, I want to try to solve that problem. So in my shop, I sell yarn in any size skeins. So if you wanted to make a Find Your Fade, you could buy smaller skeins, you know, save the money, buy the smaller skeins, and really just buy the amount of yarn you need and kind of put together the different size skeins and the different colors. And I've kept that in my shop this whole time. And people definitely seem to like it. People do buy skeins in all sizes, and you can get, you know, skeins from 20 gram minis up to huge 300 gram skeins that make it easier for sweater knitting. So you're not weaving in as many ends and that kind of thing. So it's really fun, and it's a good challenge for me. We've talked about it before here of just making color, like my different colorways and scaling them through the different size skeins. So that's a fun problem. And so that I think that's something unique, is you don't really find that. You can find shops offering maybe minis or 50s, but you don't really find the 75s or the 125s or something like that.
Or I have big feet. We all know this, but my husband is 6'4" and has giant feet too. So like I could order 150 gram skein and know that I'll have enough and not have to like, I mean, I love, you know, I do your mystery sock set. I love the minis. I love the contrasting, you know, cuff, heel, and toe. But maybe my husband doesn't want that. So I have that option of ordering a bigger skein and making sure I have enough. Whereas you're, you have little feet. Maybe you don't need 100 grams. Maybe you want 75 grams. Yeah. Brilliant.
Exactly.
I think that's,
yeah. So do you find that there's like a favorite color or sort of color family that you return to time and again because it's just your favorite?
I'm big into like pinks and blues. And so like the rose gold family was really big in my shop for a long time. Like I had the rose gold gradient that I turned into that advent kit. And then I have like a few other colors. Like I have a rose gold color, and there are just some like kind of within that, not like bright pink, but kind of the muted kind of purpley pink kind of color that I always kind of go back to. But then there's burnout, right? And you get tired of dyeing the same colors over and over again. Blues, again, is always one of my favorite colors. So I like to incorporate that as well. I also really like neutrals. Like I like gray and I like browns and stuff. So I always kind of try to bring those in too. which is really nice. And I feel like that's something that like, you always, oh, what's your favorite color? Like you always want to pick like, a rainbow color, but I like grays and browns too. So
can I
want to bring that in.
Can I show the November sock set?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this starts off kind of as a neutral, but like there's a lot in there. There's a lot of layering stuff. And then here's the mini that came with it. And I wish I could be like Jill and keep up every month. But I can't, I just can't seem to keep up. But I just like to look at them and hold them and put them on my desk and like pet them, So, but there's a lot going on. There was a lot of different colors in that, but I feel like kind of a neutral enough base to go with like anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lovely one.
Thank you.
And Jana, collecting yarn is different from knitting, totally different hobbies. So,
well, I can have both.
Yeah. Yeah. You can do both for sure.
Yeah.
So Lauren, we were on your website just a little while ago and noticed that you have started a new rewards program for your customers. Can you explain how all of that works for people?
Yeah, so the rewards program, it's all set up so that when people make purchases in my shop, they'll automatically earn points. It's kind of like every dollar becomes a point. And then when you accumulate 100 points, you can get a $10 off coupon. So you're essentially earning 10% back on your purchases. After that 100 points, you can redeem any amount, but that's kind of like the base. Yeah, I think it's nice, a good way to like, kind of thank people who shop in my shop. But then also the other piece that I wanted to do with it was also make it a little more interactive. So I'm allowing people to earn points in other ways. So like, even if you don't purchase, all the time from my shop, if you're posting on Instagram, you can earn points that way. Or like if you're in the yarn club and you knit the color in the month that it's for, you can earn points that way, or like just things like that. And I even view it like coming up in 2022, I'm kind of plotting and planning, but just doing like different, like maybe like a make along or something where you earn the points that way. Just like kind of making it fun like that versus like, oh, you have to like purchase to earn points. It's also just, let's like knit and make things together too.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
See, Jana, you needed incentive to keep up, and now you have it.
That's right.
I'll just have to set aside all the socks I have on the needles right now for like family members, or hurry up and get them done so then I can start. Maybe I could do that for January.
Yeah.
But I'm super excited. I got my shipping notification for the December.
Yeah, I was going to say you might be getting it soon. There are delays though. I think it took you a long time to get your Advent one, right?
Yeah, but I live in the middle of nowhere. It takes me usually one day longer than anyone else anyway. It's okay.
Yeah.
The other thing I think is unique about your shop is, do you want to tell about your craft journal sticker kits?
Yeah. So another thing I offer in my shop are the sticker kits. So if you want to keep a craft journal, but you don't want to kind of buy one that has like all of the fields and everything, you can just kind of buy a plain notebook and then use my stickers to kind of piece it together. So I have like, a section where a sticker that says like goals for the month, and you can kind of list your goals out for the month, or whips, finished objects, that kind of thing. But if they're all like kind of make your own. So I try to do decorative stickers too, where you can leave information and you can kind of, if you want to handwrite everything, you can. If you're like me and have terrible handwriting and you want to use the text I provide, you can do that too.
Yeah.
And then I just come out with different themes every single month. So you could have, a month that kind of fits all together, but then month over month it changes. And one thing I just launched was a full set. So it's like a 12-month set. So if you want to kind of keep it consistent for the year, you could.
That's really cool. Really, and I use some of it in my knitting journal, but honestly, I use a lot of it in my bullet journal, like my daily, task list, bullet journal, reflections, that kind of thing. Cause I like the headers, the longer strips that you make. And then I use a lot of it in my bullet journal.
Yeah. So. And that makes sense. Like where a lot of this came from was just like from the planning community. Like if you guys have seen planners and people get like nuts with their stickers and their planners, it's kind of that same idea of just kind of like making it interesting and fun and a new way to kind of track your projects. And it's nice because like my mom does it. So when I see her, I can like flip through hers. It's just like a nice conversation starter with like crafty friends and, you know, versus scrolling through Ravelry, or if you keep it kind of in another database or something like that.
So people should check out your crafty stickers, because you can do what I do. And I know I sound like a commercial for you, but but if you get the monthly thing, and then you can put your stickers in there, the same package, and it all comes together that way.
Right.
Took me a while to figure that out though, didn't it? You hinted a little bit. What do you have coming up for 2022?
So right now, I feel like I'm still planning out 2022. I feel a little behind, but for the yarn clubs that I offer, those are staying the same. You know, they're so popular and people really love them. So going to keep those going kind of as they are. Signups are always open type of thing. So people can kind of keep up with that. Again, I have this new rewards program. So I'm trying to plan things around that and have, you know, again, make alongs and or things like that that I've never actually really done, but going to kind of try and see if I can do something with that. And otherwise, I don't know. We'll see. It'll be a surprise for all of us. So just stay tuned, I guess, is the only teaser I can kind of give.
Well, and I'll say, you know, we'll put all the links down below, but you have a YouTube channel where you do the dye with me and you do the vlogs. That's been fun to watch, the, you know, glove up, put the mask on, do the dye. That's fun. I like watching those.
Thanks.
Yeah. It's pretty fascinating to see the yarn in the pan and see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think those are fun. People can find you at agirlinourworld.com.
Right.
YouTube.
YouTube, Instagram, everywhere, A Girl in Her Wool.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was nice to chat.
Great to meet you, Lauren. Thank you.
You too.